All right, everybody, gather into our circle. You know the drill. Bring your journals. They have a couple of examples in them that I've placed in there we're going to use in our focus lessons. So just make sure you bring them over here. And all right, hey y'all. We are just a few days in to a memoir genre study, and um, I think y'all are just doing an excellent job. I'm excited about this. I think we're gonna really get to know each other even better through this process and learn to write even better. I'm really proud of the progress that y'all have made already just in a few days. I feel like y'all have gotten a lot of work done. In fact, I've asked David and Jose to come up at the end of class and share some of the stuff that they've written that they're particularly proud of and I think is excellent. Um, we haven't even gotten to a lot of our revisions and all of that. We're just kind of trying to, we've picked our what we're writing about, and we're just going to begin the process of getting that all written down and revising that as the days go forward. But one thing that I feel like we need to go ahead and go over towards the beginning, because I think it's really important, and I have noticed that in a few cases this has already started to happen. It's really easy to let this happen. Is that um, sometimes when we're writing a memoir, we can start to have an autobiography style kind of slip in. And so we've talked about what a memoir is, but we're going to talk about today specifically the differences between an autobiography and a memoir. So I have a couple of examples. Um, Go ahead and pull out your papers and read along with me. Both of them are actually student examples from previous classes that I've taught over the past that they gave me permission to share. And I'm just going to read a paragraph of each one. One of them is called Brownie the Horse. It says, I reach out my hand to stroke Brownie's nose. Oh, soft like silk, I tell my mom. I can smell the earthiness of Brownie, a mix between dirt and sun. The sweat droplets fall to the ground. I can tell that she had been running in the pasture before we arrived because she kicked the ground with her right hoof, ready to run again. And the second example, my name is Michael Smith, and I was born on the 30th of August, 1967, in Long Beach, California. My parents were Eddie Smith and Joan Smith. Both of my parents are deceased. My mom died at the age of 57 in 1994 from lung cancer, which was the result of smoking her whole lifetime. My father died at the age of 69 in 2006 from a massive heart attack, which was also the likely result from a lifetime of smoking. Fortunately, I have been smart enough to avoid that bad habit. Now, first of all, I just want to ask, which one is the memoir and which one is the autobiography? See, yes, you're absolutely right. Brownie the Horse is the memoir, and the autobiography is obviously the one with the kid named Michael Smith. Um, so we have an example here, and we're going to kind of dive into what the differences are. So I've I've written down several differences, and so on this side we have memoir, and on this side we have autobiography. Before I go into these differences, can anybody tell me what they felt like the main difference was to them? Sarah, yes. It felt different. What felt different? Okay, yes, yes, you're absolutely right. One of them was describing how something smelled, how it felt, and the other one was basically facts, just like like you just said, that's what I really wanted y'all to come to. The writing feels different. Now, on this side on memoir, we have it focuses on a central incident, whereas autobiography focuses on an entire life or a series of events within a life. So it doesn't have to be an entire life. A lot of times it is, but it could be um, someone's entire experience through school or college or as a senator or something like that. They may be writing about that, but it's factual and it's a series of events. Whereas the memoir is usually focused on something that happened. Um, a memoir is not a chronological narrative. In other words, it doesn't have to go in a particular order, whereas an autobiography is a chronological narrative. It usually goes step by step through what happened. There's a lot of times a lot of dates and things like that put into a autobiography. A memoir is full of emotional truths. Emotional truths. What can anybody tell me what they think that is? An emotional truth. Okay, yes, John. Yes, yes, you hit it right there. It's the truth to you. So if I'm talking about my parents' divorce, um, and then if I was writing an autobiography full of facts, I would go to my mom or my dad and say, hey, what was the date that y'all got divorced? And that kind of thing. Whereas in the emotional truths, so that would be facts. That would be what actually happened. The emotional truths are what I felt when it was happening. It was the truth to me. So I may be more like, it was around this age. I could be off by 2 years, but that's what it feels like to me. So, and in this, you're going to get a lot of sensory description, because you're trying to get the person that's reading what you wrote, you're trying to get them to feel, to understand how you felt about a particular event, whether it's excited or sad, whatever it is, you're trying to convey that to them and help them to kind of live that experience with you. And so the memoir is personal and intense, and an autobiography is not as personal or intense. It's just telling about what happened. So what we're going to do is we are going to break off into pairs. I've paired y'all off, and you're going to look at what you've already written, and you're going to have to help each other kind of see some places. If there are some places that have gotten off into autobiography, you're going to help each other notice those things. And in your journal, you're going to write at least 2 differences between an autobiography and a memoir. And then you are going to write about, basically you're going to look at your autobiography with your partner. I mean, your memoir with your partner. I'm sorry, now I'm getting confused. You're going to look at your memoir and find a place that needs to be revised, because it sounds like an autobiography. It's getting a little too chronological or a little too much into the facts, and it needs some more feeling to it. And then you're going to revise that for us. At the end of the class period, you'll have the opportunity to share or just turn it into me when, and I'll look over it and make sure that I feel like that you've gotten where we're going with this lesson. All right, everybody pair off and get to work.